Hello, Dr. Jin. Thank you very much for taking the time out to speak with us today. So, you've been in the conference for 2 days now. This is the second day. How do you feel about the conference, the vibe, and the people, the crowd?
Well, I think the Beyond Blocks is one of the top quality conference in terms of the quality of the audience. In many conferences, when I go there, there's something like 90% of them being either retail investors or the project looking for investors, where there are just a few investors wandering around. But Beyond Block, it is the other way around. A lot more industry experts rather than retail investors. So I rank the Beyond Block as a top quality conference.
Thank you for your kind words. So you have just spoken, you were part of a panel on entering the Korea Market 101. That's what the panel was called. And I would like to know what, in your experience, are the biggest challenges in entering the Korean market?
You know, the Korean market is very unique compared to the US or China or any other market. There are a couple of the characteristics of Korea, like the strong influence of the retail investors, and so a lot of the companies, startups or public companies trying to the ICO project, and also the regulatory uncertainty. All those things are very unique in Korea, and you need to understand the local market by being able to enter the market. And the easiest or the best way would be finding the right partner in the either local partner or any investors or any other business entities who can help them.
I see. So you say that the right approach is to find a good investor or a good partner to enter the Korean market. How does, on a 30,000 foot view, how does somebody go about finding the right partner in Korea?
I mean, it is the same as in any other business practice. You need to either find through your friend, partners, or some other way. So it is up to you. I cannot. I think I don't have the secret sauce to find the right partner. But the entrepreneur or the product should put their effort to find the right partner.
I see. So putting the effort in to find the right partner, if you do it right, then you should be able to find the right partner. So
exactly.
I understand. And just moving on to a little bit about your history, you mentioned that you were a serial entrepreneur for 20 years. And but how did you first get into, and you have a history with the internet, but how did you first get into the blockchain space?
I changed my career as an investor about 3 years ago as a VC. Then we started looking into different opportunities, including the new project in crypto space. We first looked into an opportunity in exchanges in 2016, which we passed, unfortunately. And then early to 2017, we also got into another opportunity to invest in crypto exchanges, which was the beginning of me getting involved in this space very heavily. So it's about a little bit over a year, which is long enough to be I'm an old boy in this industry.
Yeah, a year in blockchain is definitely much longer, or it feels much longer than a year. So would you say that there's any lessons that you learned over the 20 years of your being as a serial entrepreneur that you have applied into the blockchain space? And if so, what are they?
Actually, the biggest thing is that my experience of building my business in late 90s in the middle of the dot-com boom, that process looks exactly the same as what's happening now in blockchain. So I'm trying to apply my experience back then in trying to figure out what is coming, what's important, what will, it's a fad kind of thing. So that kind of experiences helped me a lot in trying to decide the right strategy, find the right partner, the right businesses.
Okay, and if there's any one thing that you would avoid with the blockchain or your experience with the internet and how you would avoid it in the blockchain industry, what would it be?
Every new technology and new industry has its own steps to go through. So not everything happens at the same time. So these days, I'm not looking that much into the vertical application in the blockchain space, because those vertical applications can be possible only if the right infrastructure is in place in the market. And that is where I'm as an investor is looking into, and that is the understanding of the market you need to have in working with project or being involved in the project or even investing in those projects.
I see, very interesting. And What would you, so looking at the blockchain space where it is today, what would you say are the biggest problems with the space besides the usual scamming and scheming? And on the contrary, what would you say are the things that makes you the most enthusiastic about the blockchain space?
At this point in time, there are two things I'm focused a lot, which is the infrastructure and user experience. So recently there's a lot of competition among so-called third generation blockchain platform. I believe that that's very important because that will be the basis on top of which there will be so many vertical applications will be developed. Another thing is the user experience, in particular the wallet and the access for the consumer to the crypto wallet and the apps. But back in the late 90s, Netscape browser has played that role. But in crypto space, we do not see the Netscape of the blockchain yet. So I think that we still have to wait for this Netscape of the blockchain.
Okay, so these are the problems. So what is the one thing that makes you the most enthusiastic about this space?
Enthusiastic about this space is that there are two things. One is that the nature of the decentralized platform can democratize everything, not only the data, but also the control of the whatever resources, which has been historically held by just a few power holders. That's one thing. But another thing is that in terms of the capital, the blockchain and crypto market provide very quick liquidity, which is why there's so much money is now pouring into this space. And that's good and bad. On the bad side, of course, it creates hype and bubble. On the good side is that it can bring in a number of the talents in this space very quickly, which will help the industry develop very, very quickly. So it's not nothing is always good and nothing is always bad. So it's a mix of good and bad, and that's two things I'm very enthusiastic about this space currently.
Yeah, that's a very interesting viewpoint. And moving further on from that point, if you had to choose maybe 2 or 3 sectors where you think blockchain can make the biggest impact in the world, which sectors do you think, besides fintech or finance?
Sorry, but I think that the disruption in the financial sector would be the biggest one. But I'm not talking about the banking or the payment, but I'm talking about the securitization of assets, which has not been possible in traditional centralized financial system. And the second one is the disruption of the so-called offline, burdens in the offline space, like the supply chain management and the medical records. Those types of things has been siloed and fragmented and held by only just a few entities. But those data are now being democratized and getting back to the hands of the data owners. So I think those are the two things I'm very enthusiastic about.
Very cool. Now my last question is a little bit of a unique question and probably a really good question for you because you were part of the internet revolution. You were right in the middle of it. And so today we're in this era of blockchain, and 10 years from now, what do you think this time in the blockchain era will be, what will the opinion of people will be 10 years from now about this time in the blockchain era?
This time will be exactly the same as the 95 through 97 in dot-com bubble. So it will be right before the dot-com bubble. I don't have a clear idea about when it will happen, but it will happen. Yeah. And only after that, then the market and industry will embrace the real value of the blockchain and crypto. So I think that in hindsight, and 10 years later, I think that at this 2017 will be exactly the same as 1996, 1997.
Okay, so you hold the view that blockchain is the internet 2.0, basically.
Internet 3.0.
3.0, sorry, yeah. Okay, makes sense. Thank you very much for your time, and it was great speaking with you.
Okay, thank you.